Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of After Emoris, our Q&A talk show about all things Emoris related. Today with me I have our good friends Dyto 11, or it's just Dyto now?
It's Dyto DnD now.
Dyto DnD now, who plays Thyra, and once again we have Esprit back on the show, who plays Elakian, or Elikane, as he should forever be known. Anyways, so in this show, we just ask you guys some questions either about the episode or your characters. You do your best to entertain us and tell us those things. So we're going to start off tonight with Elakian. This is from Nissa, by the way. Elakian, you were taught that all elves have inherent magic in them and are sort of like a very gifted race. Since Elakian feels he doesn't have magic, is there a chance his soul isn't originally elvish?
That's honestly something I have thought about a little bit. But I feel like it more boils down to like it's a possibility. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like it's kind of one of those things where even though like they're like elves in general are more in tune with kind of the magic side of things, not everyone is to the same degree as others. So I feel like that could also be part of why.
Okay. Makes sense. Next question is something that I'm trying to ask every player, actually DM included. This comes from me, Deadpool. We have talked about this numerous times on the Twitch show, but I figured we should get this officially written down in Q&A format. Who do you think is the first to die? Like, I want to see where your answers line up, because the last episode was pretty interesting.
For me, I'd have to say it's kind of a balance between either Free or Wade. Free because I feel like she's super squishy. Wade because he's just really, really dumb at times.
Wow.
Hey, I mean, you can't say I'm not right considering you jumped into a river that was full of man-eating things.
I was pushed. Hashtag Isabel is a murderer.
Let's get it trending, guys.
See, for me, I think Thyra is going to die first. Only because she puts herself in danger to protect, all of the squishies.
Everyone.
I mean, it'll take a lot to kill her, but I think it'll be either her or Elakian will get himself killed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. You guys are going to have to watch last episode's Q&A, do what everybody else thinks. But I think you're crazy. A barbarian never dies, dude. Barbarians never die.
Especially half-orcs.
True.
Yes. Freaking...
whatever endurance. I forget
endurance,
what it's called.
yeah.
Hey, it only works
endurance or whatever.
Yep.
For a long rest.
Okay. Another question from Nissa, who is providing most of the questions these days. What was your character's education system like? Were they homeschooled, traditional education system? And how'd that go for them?
I'd say for Elakian, it'd definitely be more of like what we kind of call the traditional system. That's kind of how I pictured it. Like, he has a class of a few other kids his age that went through school. They had like an actual building that they went to and attended, had a specific curriculum that they were taught. And this is a little bit of backstory, but it was kind of those things where he just didn't like it. Like, that's kind of what's geared a lot of his mannerisms, is he does not like that kind of set structure that he experienced as a kid with school.
So Isabel would not be your ideal teacher?
No.
I don't think Isabel would be anybody's ideal teacher.
No.
This is a fair statement.
Not at all. How about Thyra? I think we kind of got a hint of this before, but...
I mean, Thyra grew up in the woods, so traditional schooling is not something she had, but she's definitely been taught, and they have their own form of school and things that they think are important to help the tribe. And yeah, she went through extensive learning up until she left.
Yeah, I think like this question, it kind of actually gives a lot more information than you think, because when I first thought it, I was like, that's kind of a weird question, but it actually gives you so much insight into a character's past, like just seeing what their upbringing was like. Yeah, we definitely have gotten to feel that Thyra's, you would say it's kind of like, is it like a communal teaching?
Yeah, I mean, within the tribe, you have different levels of learning. And Thyra was definitely expected to learn more than the rest of the tribe, so hers was a little more extensive than what normal tribe members would. She had to go through a lot of training to, control her rage.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yep. And you know what? We're gonna stay on you for this next one. If you can discuss this, if you can't, that's fine. But is there any significance to the name Harabel, Thyra's hammer, or is it just a pretty name that Thyra liked?
Well, as a player, I liked the name, but she is a legend from her great-grandfather, who she inherited the axe from. He was a Goliath, and she was this heroic fighter who legend has that her arm was her weapon, so he named it after her.
That's pretty dope. Okay. Yeah. And using that, it's an axe. I said hammer by mistake, didn't I?
Yeah,
it's an axe. I'm sorry, guys. But using that axe, what's your theory for like the Thrite, I believe it was called, the giant thing that we ran into last episode? Do you guys think it's guarding the flight rock? Do you think it's protecting the dwarves mining? What do you think the deal is?
I don't think it's protecting the dwarves, because the cave-ins are killing the dwarves. It's sectioning them off. They go without food, they go without water, people can't find them. So my theory is that it's trying to protect the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it worships the rock. Who knows?
Okay. How about you, Esprit?
I'm kind of in the same boat a little bit. I definitely don't think it's there protecting the dwarves, because it is causing collapses within the mine, which are then hurting and or killing dwarves at the same time. But I don't know necessarily if it's protecting the rock itself or something else that is within the mine that is also close to the rock, such as maybe it's young, or it's home that happened like before any of the dwarves came in, and actually part of these tunnels might be from it trying to get around in the mine in the first place. So right. Okay. I definitely think it might have something to do with the rock, but maybe not entirely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What if the rock's has radiation coming off of it, and it is protecting the dwarves by keeping them away from it? Woohoo!
Maybe.
It's a terrible idea. That's definitely not it.
It's got flight radiation.
Flight radiation.
But
yeah, you get too close to it. And
with
you just start
Thyra
floating away.
Thyra knows, I guess, stuff about this animal, but I don't. It could very be what Esprit said. It could just be protecting its home. But Thyra also knows that it's dangerous and not gonna be reasoned with.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard to try and find that out.
We're definitely killing this thing.
Probably.
With our group, probably.
Let's be honest, yeah. Hit first, ask questions later.
Hey, Thyra has tried that, and then it attacked her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is kind of fair.
And this is a beast that she knows is aggressive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if I can discern if it's a mama or a baby, I mean, I'm not going to kill, if it has babies, I'm not going to kill the babies. But if the mom's going to attack us.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna have to go.
Or Wade.
What?
It came up in front of Wade. It'll attack Wade
true.
first.
Yeah, of course. So this is a question for both of you. Thyra and Alakian were kind of conspiring behind the group's back. What was their decision to keep the hunt for the roadshow away from the others? Keep it a secret.
No, go ahead, Dyto. I was actually gonna.
For me, it's more of I don't want the rest of the group to put themselves in a position to get information that she wants, and she thinks that Alakian can he can get information in a place that she can't, whereas like Wade could get information from the same place as Thyra can. It's more of a she doesn't really want to reveal everything, and she knows that Alakian won't ask questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with that. Like, it's definitely kind of. I feel like Alakian kind of realized he had an oh shit moment whenever everybody jumped his ass back in Earnroot. For basically putting everybody in harm's way without letting them know. And so it's kind of one of those things where he's like, that's actually part of the reason why I'm staying at the Convex Reserve instead of going out and staying with you guys, is because if and when I find information, then if they follow me back that night, they'll just follow me back to the reserve, and like they'd have to follow me like for a whole day or whatever to try and find you guys or anything like that.
Nice.
So that was kind of my thinking behind that as well.
And in
it's more good.
In Thyra's mind, she believes that if Alakian gets into trouble, she has more of a chance to take out the threat before it becomes a threat. But that's just her ego.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of leaning back on, going back a little bit. Does Alakian feel like he's been treated unfairly by the group? He last session mentioned, it pointed out the inconsistency about how Isabel almost murdered Wade, but he's been in hot water before with the group. So does he feel like he's being treated unfairly?
A little bit. It boils down to kind of the same thing that I mentioned this past session, is that Isabel has done shady shit as well, and yet she's getting off more or less scot-free compared to him having everybody jump him, whatever. And like at that point, he had no idea that he did anything wrong, because it's like I mentioned at that point too, is that he's not used to having other people to think of, and he explained that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet he hasn't tried to actively kill anybody in the party. It's just kind of been a passive thing of just like, oops.
I mean, in this last session, Thyra did lay into Isabel on doing that just thing.
Come on, people. Let's get this hashtag Isabel's murderer trending, please.
Hashtag Isabel's a murderer.
Felis was very mean to me last Q&A, so... Payback. I'm just kidding.
Get him.
Okay, good answers. But I think the biggest question on everybody's mind is, where is Daniel? Where is that lovable goat?
Probably dead.
I think he went, and I think we're gonna find him during Freeze Arc, because he went north and we went south.
Interesting. Ooh.
Or maybe a Lakian's arc. I don't know where it's from.
I can't wait for Daniel to come back to us. I do actually have one final question from Beach Mama, aka Dyto's mother. What is driving Thyra to find the roadshow? Is it revenge? Is it, you know?
Well, Thyra wasn't really happy about being kidnapped and forced to fight because she doesn't really like to fight if she doesn't have to. But everybody else just seemed to like they wanted to put it behind them, so she wasn't gonna selfishly go after them. But then she went to Erenroot, and Isaiah said that he heard of the roadshow being south a couple of months ago. And Thyra being from farther south, she's just concerned that maybe they've caught up with her family.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that could be.
And then that'll kind of change her trajectory.
Yeah. Can you see her pushing the group to pursue this? And same with Alakian. I mean, can you see either your characters pushing the group to go hunt down the roadshow?
Right now, she just wants information. She doesn't know one way or another. She just has a theory. She's not going to push it until she knows for sure. But maybe.
I think for Alakian, it boils down to he definitely wants to find Vija and serve him justice, however that is, at that point in time. But I think he also, despite his hubris, does realize that probably no one here would be able to actually fight him on equal footing, given the little bit that they suspect that he can do as far as magic and everything else. So,
okay. Yeah, that's all of our questions for tonight. Thank you two for both being on the show. If you guys out there, the viewer, have questions for anybody on our cast for future episodes, join our Discord. The link will be down below to join. And leave your question in the Q&A section. And we will see you next Monday with Emoris. Thanks for watching, guys.
bye.
Bye. Like waiting for the wave like you guys knew that was coming.